Okay. Hi, everybody. Are we still here? I don't know if we are done with the introduction, but please, I think we're going to continue. And I'm so happy. Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me
Yep,
know if you can hear me, please.
we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you.
Yeah, yes, we can. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm so excited, and thank you all for introducing yourselves. I'm so happy because our team is inclusive and diverse because we have young women who will be talking about your works to their mentors and their mothers in the building. And I'm so happy that you guys took out time to attend our sessions. And please don't worry, you're going to enjoy it because we are here with every detail, and feel free to ask questions. If you can hear us, please indicate in the chat box. If you have a question, you can send in the chat box and we'll be there to respond. Okay, so we're going to do, unfortunately, we had a lot of good plans, but the network hasn't permitted us to carry on with our plans like we wanted. So we had a couple of questions, and I don't know if Violet is here yet. Madam Violet, are you here? Okay. Please, I don't know if you are hearing me. If you're hearing me, please say, okay, yes, okay, good. Thank you,
We
Brenda.
can hear you.
So I have a couple of questions I want to ask you. And the idea is I want all of us to respond at the same time. So when I ask a question, let's go to the chat box. Everybody, let's move to the chat box. When I ask a question, you just respond, you type in the answer in the chat box as fast as you can. And we all are going to have our answers at almost the same time. So we're all moving to the chat box. Now, we've known each other. There are other aspects that also want to know about you and get to know ourselves better. So, if I may ask, what is your favorite color? Please, let's turn our cameras off because of network. We are so sorry because excellent, 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 excellent. This is great. Ooh, great, great. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, another word for good. Thank you, everybody. Another word for advocacy. Give me another word. What is advocacy to you? If you don't want to use the word advocacy, what word would you use in place of advocacy? I know I have feminists, activists, and all of us are doing something in our various things. So apart from the word advocacy, if I don't want you to introduce yourself like I'm an activist, what other word can you use to as a synonym to advocacy? Sorry, 93, 54, great. Conrad and Benny. Okay, good. Brenda, wow, nice. Great, great, great.
Excuse me, Karen, is it possible for you to type
Okay,
in the box because
let's move
your
to
voice
the
was
next
going
question.
really wonky and we couldn't hear you?
How can we make the world a better place for all?
And maybe not now either.
How can we make the world a better place for all? I know as activists, as we are all passionate in our work, in the work we do. And our main objective is to ensure that the lives of others are touched and changed. And now I'm asking you this question. What can we do to make the world a better place? Good pay and work. Great, Conrad. Suicide empowerment. Good. Already education, excellent. Wow, the Brooks, this is amazing. Thank you very much. and able to embrace their gift. Wow, yeah, this is so important. Thank you very much. Wow. I'm waiting for more answers. Listen to people's needs. Yes. Educating our citizens. Great, excellent. Great. Share much love. Great. Great. Wow. That is amazing. And we're going to end here with that. You've learned something because I've learned quite many words as synonyms to advocacy. Hi, please, if you can't hear me, let me know, please. Damio, Lola, please, can you hear me? Hey, okay, okay. Please let me know if it's better. Let me know if it's better, please. I really apologize. I really apologize for this. I've been working all night for this, and when it came to almost the okay, let me know if you can hear me better. Oh, this is so okay. Thank you. Oh, I feel better. I mean, we've been working all night for this, and the internet has really dealt with me so badly today. I almost cried. I'm sorry for the inconveniences caused. So we're going to have our first presentation. Thank you. We're going to have our first presentation, and later on, if nothing can hear me, please, you're going to help us to do the breakout session. There, we're going to discuss. We're going to share our stories with our various participants. So we are 4 of us on this call. So we're going to have 4 breakout rooms where we're all going to talk more about ourselves and what we do. So thank you very much, Brooks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for the kind words. I mean, internet can frustrate you. Okay, so our first presentation is going to be from Madame Feka Pashibel, and she'll be talking about the importance of grassroots and community actions. So, Madam Feka Pashibel, I'm going to mute myself so you can take over. Please, Madam Feka Pashibel, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Please, if you're getting me, can I get a confirmation?
Yep, we can hear
Are
you.
you getting me?
Yes.
Okay. The internet connection is so crazy because I have a PowerPoint presentation which I had to share, but because of the internet, I don't even know how to go about it using a phone. So it's quite challenging. You just bear with me and let's continue our meeting. So I'll be talking on the importance of grassroots grassroots and community actions. So first of all, I want us to know what a grassroots movement or grassroots community is. A grassroots movement or community is one which uses the people in a given district and rural community and movement organizations use collective action from local level to effective change at local, regional, or national or international level. Grassroots movements are associated with bottom-up approach. So in the grassroots, they believe that everyone has a say, everyone is important. So they start from right down there before they move up. So to best carry out your actions or advocacy or whatever, you get everyone involved. So the children will have this say, the elderly will have this say, and everybody will have this say. So Grassroots movements work towards development issues, economic events, political issues, and other goals through strategies focusing on local participation, either local or national levels. Grassroots organizations derive their power from the people. So their strength is the people. It's not a one-man thing, it's everybody's thing. And they have some peculiar strategies that they use in carrying out these activities because they want everybody to be involved. They go to social groups. They go to social groups, quarter or resident meetings in Cameroon. We'll call them Know Your Neighbor, or we call them Jangi, or we call them whatever name. We have so many names we call them. So they go to that level. They go to the churches on Sundays where they have to meet some Christians, and we go to different church groups like the CWA, CWF, CMF. They also visit youth groups. They go to the markets, to market squares on market days where they meet the people who sell there and they talk with them. So those are some of the strategies that they use in the grassroots, and it works perfectly well. So whatever decision you're taking or conclusion you're drawing, you're getting an idea and you're getting a voice from almost everybody. So that is how grassroots movements work. Now, community actions. What are community actions? Community actions are any activities that increase the understanding, engagement, and empowerment of communities in the design and delivery of local services. Community actions include a broad range of activities and can be described as social actions or community engagement. These activities can vary in their objective and the role community plays. These type of activities involve their skill and their integration within the council. What they have in common is that they will involve greater engagement of local citizens in the planning, design, and action. So the community action is not very much different from the grassroots, but again, these ones, we call them the advanced people because they go for bigger things and they are movers and shakers. So they get all the information from the grassroots and then take it. They get all the information from the grassroots and then take it to a higher level. To they use other bigger means of exposing their views, which could be through campaigns, they use social media, and then they force government, with collaboration with their exposure and connections to the big people. So this is a typical example of a Cameroonian situation. So that is how we use both the grassroots and community level to get the effects that we actually want and get the change that we actually want in our community. So I think that is okay. So can we discuss on that, on what I've shared so far? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Feka, for that presentation. I think I already told our participants for today that we have a lot to discuss with them. We have to chat our way forward when it comes to grassroots actions. And within our research, Fash, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, please.
Yes, I can. I hear you so well.
Okay, thank you very much. So we just heard from Feka, and she has spoken quite a lot on community and grassroots actions. And this is something that is so close to our hearts because we are activists and we work in that system, in that context. and talking about our stories or telling our stories is easy for us to do. And I'm happy with the members and participants of this uh, meeting, so that together we can tell our stories and chart our way forward when it comes to grassroots and community actions. We are going to hear from Miren. Miren, are you there? Please
Hello, Karin. I'm here.
unmute your microphone and you can
Yeah,
do
I'm
your
here.
presentation. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Okay, I would just give away the PowerPoint presentation because I'm a very lively person and I like maybe interactive session talks and everything. So Pachibe has given the definition of grassroots actions, community action and everything. Me, I would like to be practical, much more practical with our work on the field. How do we go about community? Karin, I think I shared some pictures, 100 of them yesterday with you in regard to our community work within our organization. So I don't know if it's possible for you to share it with participants and we'll be discussing because it's all about strategies. And what I would like to say about community work and action, not keeping away from, I'm not staying away from what Pachibe said, is exactly that, but I would like to really get interested with the Cameroonian context. I remember when we talk of community action, it is in the context of development. It is development that is being done from bottom up. That is, the ideas are not imposed to the people by the top, but it comes from the people and the top will embrace it. What do we do? I remember in 2011, in the context of the program, a national program that was installed by the government, I took part in that program. It was the national program for participatory development. I have the expression in French, I'm sorry, but it's a Programme National de Développement Participatif. We had to go into councils to work with the grassroots people for them to identify their needs with regard to the development, the issues, what they needed, schools, markets, hospitals, everything. Us, we had identified those necessities with the population. It's not coming from us, it's coming from them. Once they have identified it, what happened is that we have to sit with them, with all the stakeholders of the community, and we plan on it. The most important, interesting thing in this is that we do not expect that resources should come from maybe the founders or the government, but the community has something to give in. The community has to bring something. And when the community brings something together with the funds, we will look for other means to complete the resources that the community has brought. Take for example, we went to the Bambili Council, where we identified the need. Women were complaining that they don't have access to market. That is my organization, thank you. We are cleaning the bottles and everything from the rivers that have been blocked by plastic bottles. So let me go back to the example. So when we identified the need, what we did was we will ask the community, so what do you want? You need a school, yes, but what can you offer? So they will say, okay, we have this piece of land where this school can be built. So we offer this school, and then okay, what else do we need? How do you think we can like gather resources to come up with the structure? They can say each and every one of us can contribute 1,000 francs. It will take 1-2 years, but we can go to that extent, and then we will do things, interesting things. So community action is something that is being planned by the community. The community identify their needs. Now, if I have to come back to these pictures that you're seeing, it is my organization. We do things. We don't wait for people to plan. We go into a community. I will cite an example when we took our office, where we located. We noticed something is that, Karina, I don't know if you have those pictures where the brooch and everything where we are cleaning. There was a spot there where people, not this one, it was grassy and very, very, I don't know how put it. It was not a good spot, but there was water flowing there. And women would carry water from there to prepare food and sell to people even. All the neighborhood they were drinking from there. But that place has been there for so long. So when we took the office, we saw it was at the entrance of our office. So we said, okay, no, we have to do something. We need to clean this place. So we organized ourselves. with my members, one morning we decided to go out and do the cleaning. Amazingly enough, I think that is grassroots action. I'm getting into grassroots. Yeah, that's the spot. And that's where people will come and carry water to drink, to cook food, to prepare food with. That's me trying to do the cleaning that day. So when, amazingly enough, Karen will let the pictures circulate, they will understand what we are trying. When we got out as a group of young girls, people of the neighborhood, they started coming. They were surprised and they would ask us questions, why are you doing this? We said, no, it's not good. Then they joined in. They joined in and we cleaned it. We did the cleaning, and at the end of the day, what happened is that they told us this action was so good for us. What we think is that we should organize that monthly, we should have a cleaning session of our street. We should make sure that things goes on. What is very interesting about this is that we never planned for people of the neighborhood to join us, but they did. We never planned that we will start having monthly cleaning on that street. When people living in the neighborhood join in, they proposed that we should have this. Today, the street is a very clean one. Because this action came from them, a grassroots action, it was natural and spontaneous. We never used any resources. We were not having money. We said, anybody, if you have a cutlass, you bring your cutlass. If you have a hoe, you bring your hoe. If you have a broom, just bring your broom. And each and everybody brought in something. And at the end of the day, we had this plan already. And today we are working on how to arrange the street to look much more interesting, a beautiful one. And this is with the participation of the population. So this is one strategy. And that was a grassroots action, which is different from the community action. That if we had planned with the people, maybe we would have gone from door to door, meeting them, talking with them. I think it would have been a community action we would have planned together, but we just took the initiative and they saw that the initiative was a good one, it was spontaneous, and then they joined in the initiative. So when we have, Pashibet mentioned Jangi groups, and I think you would have even more talking, I think she would have even elaborated on the Noya neighbor. In Cameroon, that is a strategy, especially in the Northwest and Southwest region. It is something that people usually do. Like you have, in every neighborhood, you will have a meeting. It's like a community meeting where people join to assist each other. They can plan activities that can help develop the neighborhood. Those are community actions. So when we talk of community actions, I would like to how important they are. They are very, very important. The grassroots and the community actions are very important. If we take the context of the fight against COVID-19, I was telling Karen yesterday that COVID-19, what is very interesting about COVID-19, the fight against COVID-19, is that it brings back the notion of community action, acting together, protecting each other, being distant, but we act as a group. Because if you protect yourself, if you stay home, you end up protecting your community. If you go out to have the proximity, you end up infecting everybody in the community. So if we take the approach of the fight against COVID-19, you see that it really, really involves community and grassroots actions. For instance, when we started having cases of infection, COVID-19 infections in Cameroon, spontaneously, what we have never seen from people, they started putting buckets outside with water and a soap. You get into a house, but you see a bucket and a bucket of water and a soap there. What they have never done before, it was really amazing. And you have it everywhere. Like, they don't wait for the government. They don't wait for people to come and fund them. Normally they'll ask you where are the funds, but now they took the initiative. And you go to a store, you see it there. You are passing by the road, you have it everywhere. And it is really, 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 really interesting. It's really interesting because I think when I do my little analysis, I understand that there is community action. There is community action there. We do it. It's like a collective consciousness, which is part of the community action and community and grassroots action. I don't know if I have to evaluate what the government did with the National Program for Participatory Development. I don't know if the effects were really, really positive. Yes, there are structures that arose from there, but the fact remains that when you have a facilitator and when you have the impression in community action that the government is getting involved, you will not have 100% result. The result that you are awaited will not be as good as if the initiative was taken by the people themselves. So it is very important to keep in mind that in community actions, the action should come from people. The action, the development, the desire should come from them. The initiative to be taken by them. They should be the one planning, designing, and at times allocating resources for what they want. That is how it should be. Now, if you want to control things, at the end of the day, you will not have the same result. So it is very important that we have people think by themselves. And what I love much about community action is that it is a participatory. I mean, as Pachibel earlier said, it's something that is taken and embraced by the entire community, by the entire people. And yes, in Cameroon, we do a lot of grassroots work. You saw the picture with with bottles. When you come to Yaoundé, you go around town, you will see a lot of bottles in rivers, these plastic bottles and everything, but the government do nothing about it. And those who suffer from mosquito bites and everything are people living in the neighborhood where this is happening. And at the end of the day, if the community does not take action, if they don't take action to remove those things, they are the ones that are exposed. The government will never plan for it. So now we have, that is why with our organization, as you saw earlier on, we decided, okay, we are going to just gather some volunteers, because what is also interesting about community action is volunteerism. People volunteer, they are not paid for what they are doing. So we just volunteer and we do those things and we remove them, we clean the environment, we try to do things so that we'll be comfortable in an environment. I don't know, I will not take much of time. I think I've spoken so much. I don't know if you are even following me, but I just plead that I will just stop here for now. I have a lot of examples and that I will continue sharing with you as our conversation goes by. Thank you, and forgive my English again. Thank you very much. Over to you, Karen.
Oh, thank you very much. I think your English is just good. um,
and she must teach us the French. Sorry, I must come in. She must teach us that French word for participation again. Type it down. I'm going to memorize that and start using it.
Okay, so Miren, I hope you heard from Z. You're going to teach him French. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're going to have a question.
I promise I will do that.
Yeah. So if we have a question and answer session, if you have a question, you want to ask Feka, you want to ask Miren, maybe you can feel free and indicate. If not, we're going to go to the breakout rooms. I don't know if Nathan, I'm sorry, I'm giving you too much work today. This was supposed to be done by myself, but unfortunately, the network didn't permit me to use my laptop, so I am unable to make use of the breakout sessions, the breakout rooms, rather. So if you have any questions, okay, let me read the chat box. I have, okay, thank you, Nathan. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate you. Okay, nobody is saying something. Nobody has a question. Okay, so we're going to have 4 breakout rooms, 3 rather. And in each group, Karine, myself, I'll be in one, Feka will be in one, and Miriam will be on the other one. So Nathan is going to be randomly selected. When we meet in our breakout rooms, we're going to discuss, talk about, tell stories. Are there questions you want to know about Cameroon? I want you to understand that we are activists, grassroots activists. We live in the north, and from the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. And if you understand very well, those who are so up to date with information, we know that we have been living in a crisis for the past 3+ years, and it has been a hard hit on us as activists. So we are not only doing this job as grassroots activists, we are doing this job in an emergency context, which is a bit different. So life is not the same as it used to be. So if you have questions you want to ask us about our work, about our journey, I think okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, Sava. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you very much. Nathan, how many more minutes do we have?
That's up to you. I've got you booked in for 2 hours in total. So we've got an hour
to get to the breakout rooms.
Oh,
how many more?
Sure. I can do that right now. I was just waiting for you to say go.
Okay, let's go to the breakout rooms.
Perfect.
Hello, everyone.
Are you there, Karen?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, your voice is a little bit wobbly.
I believe Karen is having network problems. I don't know if you can get me. You know, she's living in the mountain. So up the mountain, there is no network. And so welcome back to this session after the breakout sessions. And I hope it was wonderful there discussing in the breakout session, because we had a wonderful time with Terry and the Zimbabwean team. There were Sandra, there were a lot of them. So we hope you had a wonderful time with them. And you know, we have a lot of network problems here in Cameroon now. We are sorry for the way things are going. Yesterday was a blackout. We never had network. And so thank you and welcome back to everyone. So I don't know if we can have Karen back. She's the main moderator. Hello, Karen.
Oh, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome.
Can you hear me? Oh,
yeah,
this is a miracle. Thank you very much. I live up the mountain and I have crazy network. I don't know, but I'm happy that we could pull through to an hour now. So, okay. So I want us to do something. I want us to take a picture of this session, which we're going to share with you all. So please, I would like everyone to turn their video on. Nathan is going to take us a picture. Please turn your video on.
And the sound also, we want the... Can you see me? Let me get some light in my face. There we are, yeah. Go for it.
Okay, everyone, we're going to go in.
So Nathan is going to take us.
So 3, 2, 1, say cheese.
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 There
we go. Perfect.
Okay.
And what is that French word for
Nick.
participation again? I'm not leaving the Zoom without knowing that. Marine?
Yes.
Marine, the French word for participation, how you say it in Cameroon?
Participation. Participation. It's the same thing, but the pronunciation that is different. Oui, participation. If you say sion is Spanish. Participation.
Participation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It was very
You're welcome.
encouraging. See you soon.
Welcome.
See you soon.
So see you soon.
Thank you.
Please put your emails in the chat box. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Who is leaving?
Yeah.
Are we
Are we done?
finished? I thought we had another hour.
You've got it for another hour if you want to use it.
Yeah, we might as well use it. Participation.
Okay, we might use it for free French lessons.
Yes, French
Karen
lessons.
must stay on that mountain. We must get a satellite phone.
But you know, if you use the other mountain, Karen is hanging on the mountain. She might end up falling down. So
Yeah. She must come down from a mountain.
yeah, she has to come down from the
I
mountain.
think just to share with everybody here. I mean, what stood out for me from what the colleagues presented and what Marine was talking about is this thing about collective consciousness. You know, it's one of the human assets that's highly undermined, and we actually it doesn't surface that much in the work that we do on asset-based community development. And that cannot be planned or pre-planned for, or even designed for. It actually comes through actions, just from what Marina was saying, the different youth groups going out and actually working in communities, you know, and that brings out that collective consciousness. So for me, that's a huge takeaway, you know, what we call a takeaway, yeah, the doggy bag type of thing. So we've got a lot to chew on that. So that's just from me, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very important. I think it's very important because it's all about community action. Is all about community consciousness. We are conscious that we want to impact change, but we do it together as a collectivity. If you have somebody who is not like interested or who is not seeing the need of doing it, then at the end of the day, we are not going anywhere, and it's very important. And
Yeah,
it's really, really important.
Okay.
Both in grassroots actions or community actions, you have the community consciousness.
There was a thread that came up in the group that I was talking with, because Feka dropped out on us, but Mathoni and I just kept going, and Fash listened until the end. But Feka was talking about the difficulty, particularly with like women who, you know, the village might have been burnt down, they're living in the bushes, and there's issues around menstruation and hygiene and that kind of thing, and the issues that go along with that. And I was sharing with Mathoni after Feka dropped out that there's similar issues I've heard and strategies for it of the traveller community in the UK, which is like the Gypsy and the Roma, and then also with our Australian Indigenous communities as well. And I've also worked with caravan park communities, which is like trailer parks, like American would call them that, in Australia here as well. And there's these similar issues around how you can kind of support women, particularly women with children, to still, and how they can support each other as well with those kind of hygiene issues and safety and that kind of thing. And then Mathoni was telling me about the pastoralist communities. So I think that there was a whole lot of threads that kind of came out just from us talking that I think we could share on a more global level.
Yeah. I think what Feka was sharing is really, really interesting, and especially with women and hygiene, you know, the menstrual pain and periods and everything, and especially with those women living in the bushes because they are running away from the crisis, and they have to get into bushes. That's where they stay to save their lives. They have this problem. It is a very serious one. And not only them, you even have people, girls, women that are living in the township that still face the same situation because it's the menstrual pads are not affordable for everybody. You know, not every Cameroonian can say they have $1 because a pad is almost like $1, $100 or $2 a day. So most often what they do, they will use old dresses. They cut them off, they wash them, you know, they reuse them again over and over and over again. But we have projects where we train them to sew, how to sew hygiene pads, but it's still costly. You need to think of strategy of making it like you have to give it to them like free of charge. You don't have them spending even a penny. But then you need finances, and you need to think of innovative ideas, how to do it, how to help these women, how to go about it, how to furnish them. So maybe we just have to launch a national advocacy towards the governments. Yes, an advocate. It might be funny, but it's true. Why can't we make pads free, hygiene pad free for every woman? It is possible. It's not impossible. We have to do it. It is a natural thing. When I heard of the case of Kenya, where the young girl had to kill herself because of the friends mocking at them, I remember in my school days, I also faced such situation, because at the end of the day, you have your dress wet with blood and everybody's laughing at you. So those are actions that we need to take. Yes.
Sorry, Miriam, it's a very, it's a big problem here in Kenya. And recently, like the girl you're mentioning, it's something that people really went on social media. Many campaigns were done after that, just to educate people and just create awareness. We also have in many places in the country where there's sex for pads, young girls, just just for them to get sanitary towels. There are people there are students who don't go to school during their menstruation because they cannot afford to buy sanitary towels. But during the menstruation hygiene day, which was last month, the government launched a menstrual hygiene management policy framework. So at least we are heading somewhere, and there's so many people who are vocal about it. There's so many awareness creation sessions going on, and with COVID, I've had so many issues that gender-based violence, girls, since now their parents cannot go out to work, especially those who do casual jobs. So some of them have been forced to, just sell their bodies for pads. It's quite unfortunate. There's a case I was dealing with maybe like 2 weeks ago. The father to this girl was arrested, and he had taken someone else's car without permission, and he got into an accident. So the mother was left to provide for the 4 children, and so she started getting men coming into her home, and she would get up to less than $1 for every session with that girl. Her daughter, who is I think 12 years old. So we were trying to rescue her, and luckily we were able to get her into a rescue center. And you can imagine this is just one case. So there are so many of those that are going on right now because of what is going on, the COVID. People cannot work, there's the lockdown, especially women who go from house to house to clean. No one wants a stranger in your house. So most of them are out of employment right now. So it's difficult, but we are trying and doing our best. Also, as government, there are so many other programs that we are implementing just to try and support in terms of social protection, providing cash transfers, food, and also just creating a lot of awareness.
Yeah, I think it's really sad, and Brooke's question is also very pertinent. How can we do that? How can we use community actions to let them know? Because it's a very big problem. It's a huge problem. For girls like me who used to face, you face a menstrual pain, you have no solution for your menstrual pains, and then you still have to face another trauma, like you have to have yourself dirty yourself and people are laughing at you. I think it's really traumatizing. It's traumatizing. And truly we have to work. I mean, with this, in this platform, we can think of something. This is a platform, I guess, and we can think of something, how to use exactly the bucket and soap outside to communicate. They need to communicate on it. There is no communication about it. It seems as if it's a shameful act. I don't know if I'm having myself. You hardly hear, even when they are doing they are doing publicity on the pads and everything. You will not see anything that is trying, no communication on media that is trying to bring people to consciousness that a girl having her menses is something that is normal, and that she should be heard when she finds herself in a difficult situation instead of being laughed at, and that the pads should be made available for her. Pads should be made available is something that we really need to work on it. I think it's something we can think of it here. It is important to carry out that advocacy, not only at the national, but also at the international level, because I think when you talk about the community is also national, local, national, or regional, or whatever, an international community. If we have something in that light, we can do something. I strongly believe we can do something. I even promise we try to start even within our organizations to help these girls, to talk about it, to let people know that pads should be given free of charge. It should be part of the women's health facilities.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree with what's been on the chat. Yeah, it's Conrad here. I fully agree with what's been on the chat. And one of the things also mentioned earlier on is the neighborhood meetings where communities meet to see how they assist each other. So you already have that space there. So it's also about creating those spaces. An earlier session spoke about self-determination theory. So it's about creating those spaces for people to feel that they can do something. So, Marine, colleagues, you already have it in your hands to find. You already have the means towards a solution, and once you take that further, that's what you use to reach out to others. And the ABCD network is a huge network now, and it's a constantly growing network. And we all can see how we can, assist and work with each other globally.
Exactly.
That's from me.
Can you see this?
Yeah,
Oh, what's that?
I can.
And oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's written end period shame. It's actually a sanitary towel. So I have it behind my desk in the office, so everyone who comes in can see it. And for me, it's an opportunity to have a conversation on periods and ending period shame, period poverty, because I get so many questions, and this is a topic that many people are very uncomfortable. Unfortunately, at this day and age, people are still very uncomfortable having a conversation on periods. So for me, having it there helped me have so many conversations with different people, my colleagues, people who just come in, and some people will just look at it and they're so disgusted. You can see it on their face, but it's an opportunity to have a conversation and just tell them it's normal, and just how to just encourage them to have this conversation with their girls, with their siblings, with whoever, just to break the period shame. And I think if we had this conversation more often, we will not have girls like that young girl who committed suicide because of period shame.
Hi everyone, just from the Zoom side. Just a quick one, just because this has kind of come up in our sort of internal conversation going on here. We have an initiative sort of running here, not quite to the scale that I think we would like to get it to, but the things like reusable pads and sanitary towels, then we can see it almost as like it can become a community initiative, especially if it's people in the community who are making it themselves. I'm not talking about just like a NGO dropping off 100 million of these for a particular area. I'm talking about getting people involved in how they make it. It can then be used as an education tool. And these patterns are free. They're online for Days for Girls. The program is called Days for Girls, and they've got a pattern of how to make these things so that they last, so that they wear and tear. And then the whole thing would be to give out 2, 3, 4 per student. And like for us, it's in the schools that we work in, but grades 5, 6, and 7s. But it then can become, you can engage your communities more if you've got people who know how to sew, if you've got someone who's got a fabric shop who can give you offcuts and things like that. You can work it in a way. I mean, we've got ladies here who can sew them up, but it's just something interesting. So I would suggest if you go and check out the Days for Girls, it's a very interesting program. Anyone else? That's all from me. Sorry. Conversation.
Okay. I think it's really,
On a,
really
on a lighter
interesting.
note, before Marine, before
Yes,
you, on a lighter note,
yes.
I work for government, so you've been very critical about government, where government gets involved and then community actions dissipate. So I work for government, and I can confess that I've been involved in some government actions trying to activate communities, and you just see communities standing back and watching us. So that's why we took on the ABCD approach to change that narrative about how government can engage with communities.
Yeah.
Okay, so all is not lost.
Okay.
I think part of that, Conrad, is that you are open to that, and you are personable and will talk to people quite openly.
Yeah.
So that leads me to think it's also about finding that champion in your government or your local government. Like Nathan is as well, so it's like you can talk
Nathan.
to people, and there's not all government people are like that.
Yeah, in fact, also just to share, year before last, I had a particular personal experience. When government goes into a community, people actually sit and wait for you to say, this is what we're going to give you. And you say that they will tell you what they want. And it took me 4 sessions just to win over the trust. And after 4 sessions, I could feel I had a heavy burden on my shoulder, just like evaporating. And I could sense the communities were then talking much more openly. And one of them said, came up to me and said, hey, Conrad, what can we do for politicians not to come and hijack our projects? Of course, I can't give a negative answer to that. The only answer to that was that I told him, you know what, start digging a hole. And if the politician comes and you say, come help me dig this hole. And if you get your hole 2 meters deep, and you tell the politician, now help me fill up the hole. You'll see them, they won't come and hijack your projects again. So that's just I like the moment around the work of getting to connect with communities, especially from government. Thanks, that's all from me.
Okay. Carrie? We've lost her.
You're on mute, Terry. Terry, take yourself off mute.
In our breakout group, we talked about the comment that is along these lines that Conrad just said. Bernie Dolly had said that outsiders often crush local initiatives. And it's a big challenge for how outsiders like Conrad, your little example, how you go into a situation and try to communicate and how you really play a positive creative role in enabling local initiatives to occur. And of course, it's changing a whole mentality that people have. When people see government people, they relate to government people as people with resources or answers, because that's what they've experienced with government in the past. And so changing that relationship is a very challenging activity. and yet I think is very much at the heart of, if we're going to do an asset-based approach, that we find practical ways to do it.
I would fully support that as a government worker there, Terry. Yeah. I sort of say in my experience, outsiders in New Zealand.
Nathan, you're also a government worker.
Yeah. Certainly in the New Zealand experience, I maybe disagree that outsiders crush the projects all the time, but if you bring the government in, we're much more likely to slow it down, which is why I would totally mirror the sentiment of Terry of finding those local solutions. And I hear a lot of the time we make demands, even the conversation here, this idea of have the government provide things for free. Oftentimes you're much quicker speaking to your private providers to provide things for free. I mean, the example I can think of is toilet paper is also a sanitary product. Now it's not free, people have to buy it. But if you go to, I know in New Zealand or the UK where both lived, you go to the mall or the supermarket and they will buy toilet paper for people to use in the bathroom. So we've actually circumvented the government providing toilet paper for everybody because we have had the conversations with the people who can make it quick and easy. Because I'll tell you what, if we're getting the government to do that, we'd still be waiting. We can take a while.
Nathan, I have the impression that here, what Terry is trying to talk about, what we see here is that each time the government is involved, it's like the government has to bring us money. It's their duty. They have to do that. You understand? And that is why we have the impression, even NGOs, at times that is the point of view that the community will have from, that is, they have money, they'll bring us, they are going to come and give us free of charge, and we don't have to do anything. So at times it's really like, if the government is playing a facilitating role, I don't even know if they should mention if that the government is the one playing the facilitating role, you understand? And that is why, because with my experience and that of Terry, in East Africa, we saw that it was almost the same thing, the same situations, we have the same results in the same areas. I mean, in different areas. We have the Cameroon case and we have where he was. At the end of the day, the results are very, very poor. But when you notice that when you have one thing I noticed that is very important about grassroots action is that the result, the end result is possessed by the people themselves, because the initiative came from them. They possess it. And it will make the initiative last for long. I don't know if you get me. That is, when it comes from them, when they have the impression that this is their initiative, like when you have the grassroots movement, people getting, maybe I may talk about, permit me to talk about the movement of maybe the Black Lives Matter that is going on in the US right now, or some weeks back. You realize that people just got involved in it. They saw that they identify themselves with what is going on and they get involved. And those who identify their ideology with that, they get involved and they move on. So I think it's the same thing with the community actions and grassroots movement. People need to identify themselves in the projects that they are going on. They should be those who are carrying the project, those who are planning for it, those who are executing it. And they should not have the impression that there is an outsider imposing something on them. So that is the reason why we are talking of the crush, that maybe when you come as an outsider or a facilitator, there is always something that will not work. But when it's from them, yeah. But the government can still facilitate, but we don't know. We still need to look for strategies for them not to appear on board. We don't know. So that's it. Hello, is everyone there? Somebody want to say something?
Yeah, we're smiling in agreement and nodding in agreement, Noreen. So,
all right, yeah. Thank you.
I've just posted. Maybe Nathan, when are you hosting your session? You are keeping me up late at night, and that's where we can take the conversation forward around, government and the role of government in all this. So I've just posted an idea to chew on, so this can be another outcome of this global conference, creating a guide on how government can do it, you know, work through the different ABCD organizations and government colleagues, you know, that's ABCD champions. So maybe specifically targeted at that group, government group, and we harvest all those lessons where government can really make a big difference. In the short period that I've been exposed to working with communities using the ABCD in government, it has the response from communities are phenomenal. I mean, even last year, I will share this also in the session, Nathan, you know, where both community members, local councillors and officials, they were just blown away with the ABCD approach, you know. It's as if Conrad became an ABCD champion. Don't switch off the recorder, don't say it, record that. It's like, ABCD was the salvation for just the way people and politicians could talk to each other. And they were all commenting, they never talk to each other. You know, so that potential is there. There is what do you say, a silver lining somewhere. That's all from me for now.
Just to answer Terry, and because I happen to have some information, the email lists have been sent, like of all participants, have been sent to the host team. So the host team will be able to email everyone and keep everyone in contact. So we can contact Karen.
All right. So it's really quiet here. Let me break the ice. So what we can say overall is that community actions and grassroots movements are very, 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 very important for the development of our communities. And there is one aspect that we didn't share, maybe we didn't touch. You have community cooperatives. I don't know if it exists in your country, especially when I'm talking maybe as a woman, when especially in the rural areas where women have to come together, put their resources together and do things together, maybe do the farming, they work together. At the end of the day, they share the resources. I don't know if it does exist in your country.
We do.
I think yes, and it's a very interesting approach of community actions, because at times they earn more than what they would have done when they are alone, if you're working alone. So community actions is very important, and I think it's what we should be valuable at the table of when we are talking of development in Africa or in Cameroon, for instance, or in your country. It is very important to have the community involved, to be the one to have the community think and execute their own the change that they want in their community, to be the one to impact the change that they want in their community. And the other thing I see about community actions and development and grassroots action is that it is, I said it is a very, very, with regard to grassroots movement, powerful tool for advocacy. There are things that are going on we don't want. We mobilize as a community and we stand against it. Like for instance, with the issue of the women menstruations, it's something we don't want. And from now on, we will have to have our organizations really involved, saying, no, we don't want that this should be going on this way again. We want to communicate on it. We want to let people know that it is something that is normal. So we that are grassroots worker and community worker, we see ourselves as change maker. We are change maker together with the community. So, and it should apply in each and every domain or aspect of life that we are fighting to see that there is a need for change there. So, well, that's it. I don't know if Karen's network is fine now or not. I don't know if she's with us. Karen, are you there? Or if any other person. But I remember I want to share an experience, a discussion I had with friends from Zimbabwe during a session we had in South Africa with regard to this issue of menstruation and part we were exchanging on aid, there were grassroots activists from Zimbabwe, and they told us how difficult it was also in Zimbabwe for women for girls and women to access sanitation pads during their menstrual periods. And we were thinking of our aid with those ladies to see how do we work it out. And I thank the experience. I thank the participants who shared on how we can produce and share, distribute reusable sanitary pads for those people. It is very, very important. It's very important, and I really hope that we keep in touch, we keep working in this grassroots. So thank you very much. I don't know if Karin is there. I'm talking, and I'm waiting for her to come and conclude.
And then, yeah, thank you everybody. Yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation on the grassroots efforts. And so there is still hope, that communities can be activated. And I think we sit with that responsibility of keeping that momentum going and we're making strides in that. Thank you from my side.
So Karin put a Google link in the chat box. And I think the intent was for adding email addresses if people wanted to connect with one another afterwards.
Thank you very much. Hello.
There she is.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I really appreciate your time and your energy. I thank you for attending this and a lot of I don't want us to keep the conversation. I want us to keep up this conversation. We're not doing it because of ourselves, but and it's to listen in order to chat the way forward. So the Google Doc is for you, put your email address. It's easy for us to communicate via email. We can talk and chat a way forward. Well, how do you intend to look at grassroots actions, maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, looking at our various countries and our various contexts? How do we involve other actors like the government to be part and parcel of grassroots actions? I think Nate brought up a point about local ownership, which is so, so important. So I sort of unfortunate that I've been kicked in and out of this meeting, and I really feel so discouraged, but I really appreciate you for staying this long. And thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best. Those who are going to sleep, have a good night. Those who just woke up, it's their morning, have a good day. And let's just keep this conversation going. Let's keep this conversation going. It's so important. Yeah. So, Nathan, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your help. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. And let's all keep the good work. So we'll keep in touch. Please, everybody unmute your microphone.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day.